we are going to jump off with our call tonight. So it's March 15th, and I have asked the queen of connecting herself, Brooke, to lead us in a team call on just that, one of the vital behaviors in our business. And I always think, I know, like, when we're looking at our business, when we're looking, we've been working it hard and we're like, okay, what are we missing? Usually there's one area that like sticks out to us. Like, okay, I'm really either struggling at inviting or it's connecting. And as a good coach, or like as a coach who's trying to build their business, you should just go chase after that one thing and go get really darn good in that area. And I would definitely say Brooke has done just that. She looked, and like from there, that the natural invite happens, the natural just progression of building a relationship, and her team, a 2-star diamond team, not Team Slay the Day anymore. What is it? Is it Fit Free and Free to Be, or Fit Fun Free to Be? It's a new team name.
Yeah. Fit Fun and Free to Be.
Fit Fun. I love
Makes
that.
me all giddy when I say it.
I love it, love it, love it. You have to explain to us how that all came about. But so she is just going to, I mean, if you don't know about her at all, you should definitely go follow her on social media, because she does a beautiful job of, one, showing up every day on her posts and like posting a picture that is going to make you stop your Instagram or stop your social media, whatever you're using, and read what she wrote. But then she also shows up super authentically in her stories, showcasing her crazy life with 3 kids, 3 girls. She just had a baby in September, and like, she is crushing it. But she's also making time for women to connect. And I want you guys to get out notes. She's going to give us tips. She's going to probably make us uncomfortable at times, and we all need it, right? So, Brooke, I'm going to mute myself, and I'm going to let you take over and go.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I recognize so many people on here, but I also see some new faces, which always makes me so excited. And recently, I've really loved connecting with new coaches on just everyone else's team, because it brings me back to when I was a new coach. And I think sometimes I forget, like being 2 years in, I'm like, just do the things. And it's like, okay, Brooke, remember 2 years ago where you were at, and connecting. I was not the queen of connecting 2 years ago. It's definitely something I have had to learn, just like inviting, just like posting good pictures, not ones of me waving at the camera. I literally have pictures of me waving at the camera. When I looked back the other day, I was like, oh my goodness. It's like, whatever. We make those bad posts or bad posts, invites, connections, like it's going to happen. So it just brings me back to that this is so new for new coaches when you guys are walking into that, and just humbles me a little bit and brings me back to those days. But to get started, we're just going to go for it. My name is Brooke, and yes, I've been a coach for 2 years. Our team name was Slay the Day, and I came up with that when I was a school social worker, just thinking I needed a name. And I feel like it really resembles my business at the time, because I was just really trying to figure out who I was. I knew I wanted something fun, but I struggled with figuring out what to post, who to invite, and who to connect with. Like, I've always been very extroverted, and so sharing like my story wasn't that hard for me. I actually started my weight loss journey in 2016 and went to Instagram for inspiration in 2016. So that part wasn't very new to me. But running a business, I was terrified of what people would think of me, and I would never call myself a coach. I would just share my transformation pictures, and it took me some time to really just figure out who I am as a person and who I want on my team and in my community. And as I was going through that, and I actually just opened up a team shop, I was filling out the form and they were asking me questions about branding. And I'm like, this just doesn't feel like me anymore. And I kind of went back to the drawing board, and with some personal development, just really like figuring out what my core values are and what I'm building long term. And it just came fit, fun, and free to be, like hit And I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. And it brings me to tears when I talk about it, because just real short, I always say fitness is what brings us together. The workouts, the nutrition, that's the start of it. Fun is what happens when you join. Like, I am all about fun and spontaneity. And you guys are going to learn tonight, even with this connecting call, I am not the perfect person for systems. So if you are type A and have systems, you will probably do very good in this business because a lot of this is organized. I have had to teach myself how to be disciplined. It takes time. But I love to have fun and be spontaneous and throw in random giveaways and do random fun things in my group. And then the last part is like what makes me super emotional is just being free and just free to be yourself. And I feel like 2 years into this business, it has taken me 2 years. So you guys give yourself some grace as you are listening to this and going through your journey and figuring out who you are. I want you guys to push yourselves a little bit. Like, don't take this as like, oh, Brooke said it's okay for me to take 2 years. No, you're going to learn from me tonight so you can do this sooner than Brooke and not take the full 2 years. But just know, like, that feeling when you finally figure out who you are and you figure out how you want to do this, and you're free from judgment and you're free from fearing what other people are going to think or whatever is holding you back. Like, that is like what I want everyone in my group to come away with, is just feeling free from all that yucky stuff. So with that, we're going to dive into the connecting, and I am going to share my screen because I made a cute little presentation because I could talk forever and I need to stay on track. So here we go. And if you guys have any questions along the way, like, please, like, put them in the comments so we can address them at the end. I'll have a little bit of time, so I can go over a couple things that I do. But I kept this pretty open so that, like, I don't have invite scripts or stuff like that, because I want you guys to be thinking of how are you going to make this work for you? Like, what is going to be authentic to you? And this is what's authentic to me and what feels good and has been pretty simple. So I just love this picture. How building genuine connections online is the missing piece to your growing business. I titled it this because this was a missing piece to mine. And I remember exactly a year ago opening up Fears My Homeboy because I was terrified of inviting. I was terrified of feeling salesy. And I always say, if you're afraid of it, like, you need to go there. Like, that's where you need to focus. Like Brooke was saying at the beginning, like, if there's something you're scared of or you're avoiding, you need to go there, figure out why, and get over it, figure out a way to get through it. And it's going to make you stronger. And connections wasn't something I was afraid of, but it's something in the beginning, I'm not going to lie, I thought that took a lot of time and I didn't really know if I would see the benefit or not. When I switched my mindset from just inviting and mass inviting, and I went through this phase of cold inviting and all these invites that didn't even feel good to me, to mass connecting and building relationships and finding people that I want in my community, I mean, things have just exploded for me on both Facebook and Instagram. I feel like I'm having fun because the people that I am talking to now every day are literally like people that I would be best friends with in real life. So with that, just a little note to you guys. You guys are Beachbody coaches, but I want you to know you are in the relationship building business. So we have fitness packs, we have nutrition programs, we are coaches, but this is your business. Like, you are the front page of your business. When we talk about posting on social media and that's your storefront, that's you. And people, when they sign up, they are not signing up for the fitness programs. They are signing up because of you, your results, what you share, and they want to work with you. They don't want to work with me or somebody else or Brooke. If they're signing up with you, people want to work with you. So you need to be the one that's building relationships with them. So you want to invite people that know, like, and trust you while you are creating relationships with new people every day. So while we talk about inviting, and I'm going to go to the next slide because I don't want to go too far forward. I want to bring this back. Now, you guys are going to hear this a lot. Look at your business activity tracker. What is one of the first things that's on there? It says initiate connections and expand your network. And once upon a time, little type B Brookie didn't want to follow a tracker, so I did whatever I wanted. I listened to the calls. I knew generally what I had to do to get to where I wanted to be. Like I knew I had to invite, I knew I had to follow up, but I completely missed this part. And this part is huge. You can post, you can make your pretty posts every day, you can post on your stories, but you need to initiate these connections. Just because you're sharing your story, and you can do so beautifully, there's people that are out there too. You need to be going out there and making friends. And I messaged our diamond group today. It hit me as I was making this. I'm like, we're literally, this is like me, your mom, telling you guys at the park, okay, Becca, go find some friends to play with. Think about like when we were kids, how easy it was to just go make friends, and you go up to someone and be like, "Hi, you want to play with me on the slide?" Yeah, I see my kids do it all the time, and then they're best friends by the end. And then my oldest daughter's like, "Can we get their phone number?" And then makes it super awkward for me. Um, but that's what this is. You guys are getting on the playground, you're getting in the world of social media, and you are going out there to make friends. People aren't just going to come running up to you, maybe a couple people, but if you want to make this a sustainable business, and if you want to hit those numbers, and I'm not going to lie, I've seen my Success Club numbers go up, and I'm pretty proud of them, and I think it's because of these connections that I'm making. I'm just going to put that out there. When you see those boards that we put in our team page and what people are doing, it's not just inviting, it's not just posting pretty pictures, it's not just having a weight loss journey. And so help me if I hear that again, that it's just because of a weight loss journey. Like, no, it's because we are having conversations every single day with new people every single day and making friends every day. All right. So I know I wanted to give you guys something tangible to take away so that you can go, you can do this tonight, tomorrow. Again, I am very like, I just kind of do what feels good and whatever like that I found that works for me. And I've listened to a lot of trainings. So if you guys are interested in like deepening your knowledge in this topic, Micah Folsom, I do a lot of what she does. Melanie Mitro is another good one. I basically just listen and do what they do because I'm like, oh, they're successful. This must be useful. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Instagram and Facebook and how to expand and connect on both platforms because it's a little bit different on each one. Inviting, when to invite. We're going to briefly go over that because I feel like that question comes up a lot. People are like, when do you invite after connecting? And then following up, which is the secret ingredient to forming a trusting relationship with your followers. And I'm going to dive a little bit more into that. It's not just a follow up asking if they want to join. You are continuing to water that relationship. So, Instagram. So, when you think of expanding and connecting in my brain, I think of, okay, expanding, I'm adding more people to my page. So, this is where I am getting more eyes on my account. I want to find people that I think would be a good fit in my community or on my team. So I look for quality people. Sometimes I look for quantity. The other day I was like, shoot, I'm just going to go for quantity and I'm going to follow a bunch of people and see what happens. Because numbers don't lie. The more you expand your network, the more of a chance you have to have a pool to pull from people that you're going to click with, that you can invite, and then that are going to enjoy you. So I follow about 10 to 20 people a day. And I do this system, which I know a lot of their coaches do. It's nothing super magical and unicorny, but I go to a page if I find an account that I really like, and I will like 3 to 6 of their pictures, comment on 1 to 2, move on. You don't need to do any more there. You just keep going. Then you go to the next person. Then you go to the next person. And I'll show you guys kind of on my phone as best as I can, like what that looks like. I'll use like one of us, like Nikki or Jody or something as an example, because I can, on what that looks like. You guys should take about 10 to 15 minutes on this to expand your network. The goal is when you are liking on their pictures and you're commenting, and take a minute to read what they have to say. If they're putting something out there that's vulnerable, if you leave a genuine comment, not just like cute pic, like say, wow, way to go on your 25-pound weight loss, or happy 4th birthday to your son. I feel like those tiny touches and that extra minute to leave a meaningful comment can just go such a long way. So take about 10 to 15 minutes, do this, and then move on. So then we have connecting. This is not an invite, but this happens in the DMs. So I'm getting in people's inboxes. You got to find what works for you. But I think just to start, like when you are looking at somebody's account and you're looking at their page and then maybe they have stories, I find stories is the best way. Like if they're posting stories, I'm like, ooh, game on. Like I'm going to see what they're sharing. Like they're obviously active on social media. I'll respond to like what they're doing in their stories. And I just say what I would say in real life. So if they have a story up of maybe their meal for the day, I'd say, oh my gosh, that looks so good. What is this? Simple. Doesn't need to be overcomplicated. Um, and then for connecting, anyone that comments on your post, likes them, or follows you, those are all fair game for connecting. Those are people that are watching you. So once you expand and maybe they follow you back, because some people won't follow you back, and that's okay. That's why you do this every day. But some will end up following you back if you do that 10 to 20 a day or so, or 10 to 15 minutes, whatever floats your boat. Um, then you go back and engage in conversation, and then kind of start this like back and forth, and you can kind of see, you know, if you guys vibe, how it goes, and then go from there. So where do I find people? Again, it kind of depends on the day. You can go to larger accounts. Like sometimes I don't have any set accounts that I follow. I use a lot of hashtags. And for me personally, I was on Weight Watchers when I started my weight loss journey in 2016. So I connect a lot with people that did Weight Watchers. So I will use those hashtags or go into those communities or go to the larger Weight Watchers pages, see who's liking and commenting. I'll start engaging on some of those posts with people, and then I will like go and just start following from there. Let me see if I have one pulled up. So yeah, here's like a big one. Look at, there's like 1.5 million people on Weight Watchers, and there is tons of them. I picked this because this I have a connection to Weight Watchers. Like I've done it before. I knew the program, and I remember being in this place thinking, I don't want to do a workout. I'd rather just eat whatever I want and figure this weight loss thing out on my own. So I know these are people that are growth minded, that are already working on themselves. So I don't have to like pour that much into them on the nutrition piece. Like I know that they have similar goals to what I had. So I'll go on their pictures, you know, like there's like some delicious food, I'll comment on it. And you can go to see like who liked it and just start looking at people's profiles. Like if there's somebody that has stories up, I'll go there. Like, okay, Tex-Mex living, Whole30, they like to run, they're a dog mom. Cool. Follow, like a couple pictures. Oh, that's actually a really cool workout. See, I can get distracted. I love doing this. It's kind of fun. And you move on, go to the next person. Okay, private account. You can decide to request them or not. Whatever floats your boat, you guys. Like, find what's going to work for you and what feels good to you. But that's just kind of an example of like a bigger account that you can go to. And I wanted to fit what your target audience is and what you are interested in. So I put here for me, my weight loss journey, like, please don't think you need to have a major weight loss journey to be able to connect with. This is my story. So learn what your story is and people you connect with. What fires you up? And if it's weight loss, great. If it's not, that's okay. Does fitness fire you up? Like, this is where you need to start doing some of that personal development and figuring out like pieces of you, and think about what you could talk about all night long if you were up with your best friend. Like, what is something that gets you really excited? Some other things for me, I'm a postpartum mom, I'm a police wife, I'm a mom of 3, but I can get even more specific. When I see other moms, like girl moms, I'm like, oh my gosh, girl mom, like, yes, let's talk. And because I don't know what it's like to have boys personally. That's not my life. I'm a mom of girls. I have an elementary age kiddo. Like, holler at me, elementary moms, because you guys know how this past year was with COVID and online learning. That is something I could talk about forever. So I connect really well with parents that have kids that are ages like 6 to 8 because my daughter is in that range. Whereas I probably wouldn't connect with a mom that has teenagers. Not that I'm not going to not have someone join me if they have teenagers, but I am finding people that I connect with because we are initiating these friendships and connections. What am I going through in my life currently that I can connect with others on? What topics can I sit and talk about all day? Like right now, my 6 month old is eating again and baby led weaning. So I went to a couple baby led weaning pages and I found other moms that are in the process of baby led weaning their baby. Went and followed them, had some conversation with them. They follow me back. Um, it really is simple. And this is why I love it so much because you almost get to just think about kind of like, what do I need right now in my life? Like, I need other moms that are, maybe dealing with some anxiety. I don't know, mental health is another big one. You can find those people too. At the end, I just put for me, like personally, when I'm looking at people's pages and connecting, I'm specifically looking for people that are growth minded, positive, and fun because these are important to me. And this is a core value of mine. So you're able to take that minute to be a little choosy and figure out who you want your friends to be, but don't sit there and think too long. Okay. All right. So as far as Facebook, super, super similar. You're growing your network, you're adding people. When I expand on Facebook, it's usually like friends of friends. Um, yeah, so this part is pretty similar to the other part of expanding and connecting on Facebook, but it looks just slightly different. I find people like friends of friends or like my husband's friends, or if we have things that are in common, or if they pop up and I see we have like 40 friends in common, I'm like, oh shoot, I'll probably add her. But if someone pops up and we have one friend, I'm like, I might not add you versus the person that has 40 mutual friends. Um, I also like I'm a part of active participant in other groups outside of my group. And these are groups kind of like Instagram, like those big pages, or using hashtags. Get into some of these groups. Like if you have a local groups that you can be a part of and engage in there. Just be you. Start commenting on other people's posts. Take about 10 minutes a day to become an active member of this group if you are not already. For example, for me, again, every pregnancy I've ever had, I have been in a birth group. Which is like if you guys are expecting, like go like do that. It was the best thing that I ever did with Aubrey in December 2013. And now these moms I've had relationships with for years are joining me and becoming coaches because they know me. We've developed this relationship outside of Beachbody. Same with September 2020. I was in this, as soon as I found out I was pregnant with Addison, I went on Facebook, typed in September 2020 moms, and there were like 10 groups that popped up. So I picked a couple to be a part of, and there's two that I was active in two, but now it's really just one. I mainly just put myself out there in one, and I will put my own posts out there. I will comment on other people's posts. So those are places. And now I have people that have seen me in that community where I'm not like on my profile page where you see all of my business stuff with Beachbody. They saw me in that community being a mom, getting to know them, asking questions, being personable. And then when I would send them a request on Facebook and we would talk, they know that I'm a real human that's not just trying to sell them something. So look at groups that you can get involved in and become an active participant. And I just put some other examples. Like I know there's one that we have that's like Moms of Lake Country. So if you guys are a mom, local restaurants or places that you like going to. There's a place that I take my two littles during the week that is like the best place ever called Bug and Goose. And there's a page for that. There's an Instagram for it too. I go there. I find people there. I hope you guys are kind of seeing the trend. You guys got to think about, what do you like to do? Like what fires you up? And get into these pages, get into these communities, take a little bit of time to research and find them and start making connections in there as well. I put at the bottom too, because this has come up a bit. If someone asks for fitness or weight loss advice, because I feel like this has come up in multiple groups that I have been a part of. Maybe you guys have seen this too. I know I've had a couple girls have questions that are like, this person's asking for fitness advice. What do I say? Comment. I comment. I tell them, I say, hey, this is what's worked for me. I would love to support you if you want to hear more of my story. Then I get into their messages and I'll just say, hey, I'm so proud of you for starting this journey. This is actually exactly how me and Brooke Anderson met. Um, like, if you would love some support, I would love to chat with you. Otherwise, I can tell you a little bit about what I've done. Whatever floats your boat. Make it sound like you. It's okay to say that. It is okay to connect with those people, because if you don't, someone else will. I guarantee it. And then they'll get a Peloton. Sorry, I just said that, which is okay. Okay. So the next part is inviting, because I know this has come up from a lot of people that I've talked to about connecting, because I say, think, connect, invite, connect. So people are like, well, when do I invite? Like, how many days? How many conversations? To me, honestly, whenever it feels good to me. I don't like let it stress me out. There are some people that I start talking to and the conversation is going so well. And I'm just like, seriously, I would die to have you in my community, because that's something I'd say in real life. Like, can I tell you a little bit more? Then it's up to them if they want to learn more or not. We have to detach that emotion if they say no or maybe, but usually I feel like 99.9% of the time, if a conversation's going well and we're vibing, they're not saying no and blocking me. And if they do, whatever. But usually, if I have a good relationship with this person or we're developing that relationship, they are asking for more. Maybe they're not sure. That's why I say the follow up is so important. You invite and then you continue to connect with that person, because that's a really good person to have. If it's someone that you would like to have in your community, like, keep fostering that relationship. Maybe they just need to see that you're real, or think about what fears you had before you signed up. They might have that too. So it is our job to keep showing up for them. Um, so challenge group invites, people that follow, like, comment. If you guys need like a day, like, I don't typically do it the day we start talking, although I have had a couple people that are like super duper cool that I invited right off the bat, because I'm like, you're amazing. I need to tell you about this, because if you chose me to be your coach, I'd be the happiest person in the world. And they usually receive that pretty well because they're getting a compliment. But other than that, typically, I'm usually connecting for a little bit. And then if they start liking my posts and they start commenting and they decide to follow me, like, a couple days later, maybe at the end of the week, I'll invite them. If that helps you guys. I don't know. Do what feels good. Like, gauge it. And then if you do something that doesn't feel good, that's okay. Just do something else the next day or the next invite. Like, we don't need to beat ourselves up over it. Keep going. Okay. And then coach on invites, I do those about 2 to 5 a day. So I already talked about that. And then the follow-up, you guys, I just have to say this. Keep watering these relationships. You don't just connect, invite, and stop. Unless maybe you're connecting and you start feeling like maybe this relationship isn't going the way you want it to. That's fine. That's why you keep expanding every single day. But if it's somebody that you connect with and maybe they say, oh, I would be interested, but right now is not a good time, please don't be that person that invites them and disappears and then comes back and invites relentlessly. You got to keep watering that relationship. Be intentional. Go back to their page and see, like their picture, like, write their name down somewhere. The people that are interested, I have like a hot list, or I highlight their name. If they didn't tell me no and block me and they left me like a kind, like, maybe, I like highlight that and I'm like, okay, I need to keep growing this relationship. And if they're watching my stories, I'll go back and watch theirs and keep building that. And then I will invite them, because you don't want to be that person that invites and it's like, okay, sounds good. Then a month later you invite and then you do nothing in between. It's like, what were your intentions the whole time? So keep watering these relationships. This is where the magic happens, because the people you're expanding with today and the people you're connecting with today probably won't sign up for 3 to 6 months. You guys have probably heard that before. So you need to keep up with that relationship. And then on Instagram, there's collections that I use. I don't do the best at it, but I can show you guys in a hot second. Facebook, I usually just write their name down. So I was just going to show you the collections. I am going to go to Melissa because you just popped up right on my feed. So I'm scrolling, right? I'm doing my thing, doing my work, connecting, and I see Melissa's page. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl's super cool. I like 3 pictures, 3 to 6, leave a comment on one. I see her transformation. Like, dang, that girl looks amazing. I'm going to let her know, like, she did awesome. Then I'm going to go here and I'm going to save it. You see that little save button? Maybe. And once you save it, this little thing will pop up that says save to collections. So I have a couple collections down here. So many coaches do it different ways. Like, and I don't, again, have the perfect system, but if there's someone, like when I'm expanding, I will try to save their post so I can go back and make sure I'm intentionally connecting with those people so that I don't forget. So I'm going to save and I'm going to put Melissa, and I actually have a group called Coach Friends because I save my Coach Friends pictures. So then when I want to go into that collection and spend some time like doing some more connecting with those people that I am expanding with, you go here. Let's see. Okay, hold on. These 3 little fun lines up here. All right. Right hand corner. This is very professional. We're going to go to saved and all your collections come up. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to go to, I even have one that's like new followers. I put people in there that I didn't recognize and I go to their page and I go in and I spend some time in my collections and I go in to see like, okay, has this person posted in a while? Like their most recent post, comment on their most recent post. Like this is a way that you can keep track of people, play around with it. It's kind of fun to do as far as tracking. Yeah. And then all their pictures just come up. Super awesome. Okay. Let's keep going. All right. Almost finished. Just a quick note on how I feel like I've personally found success in my business. And this comes up with connecting, but not just on social media, but within people on our team. I think this is huge. And this is people, your own team, your upline team, other teams. Like when I went to Destin, I made some relationships with people that aren't even on my team that don't benefit me at all financially, at all. And that is probably one of the best things I could have ever done for my business is develop relationships with people that have similar goals with me. So if you guys are in this and you are serious and you want to run a business, don't do it alone. Comparison is the thief of joy. But when you build relationships with other coaches that are ahead of you, or you connect with a coach that's right there in the trenches with you, they don't have to, like, if you're on my team, you don't have to just talk to people on my team. You can talk to people on Brooke's team or Brittany's team or anyone's team. Find people you connect with and push each other. Jess Denyer, if you're on here, I can't see you, but I love you because she was the one that helped me get to Diamond because I didn't even believe in myself. We were both hitting goals. We were getting awesome Success Club numbers. We actually earned the Punta Cana trip our first year together. And I knew her, but I didn't really know her. And she reached out to me and was like, after I think a national wake up call and was like, oh, we heard Diamond in December. We're like, let's go Diamond in December. And I was like, okay, like that sounds good. And we pushed each other and we formed a really good relationship. And her and I talk all the time about our business. There are new coaches on our team that I see kicking butt and I let them know I see them and I respect that hardcore. And I want to know, like, what are you guys doing as new coaches? Because I'm here 2 years along and sometimes I can become like a little salty toad where I'm like, just do the bat tracker and do your work. But then I have to remember those early phases, like how scary it was to do these things in the beginning. So having conversations with these newer girls that are kicking butt has been so helpful for me to remember where some newer coaches are at in my business. Have abundance. Having an abundance mindset is going to take you far, even when you're connecting. Instagram has these algorithms, and you're going to find people that are Beachbody coaches. And you're going to be like, the market is saturated. It's not. It's not. That is how the algorithm works. Just keep moving on and keep working. Okay. The market's not saturated. Go around your neighborhood and see how many people are doing Beachbody workouts. Not very many, because I just signed up 2 of my neighbors. Okay. It's just, that's how Instagram works. It's going to show you what you're sharing and what they want you to see. You got to do the work, and you got to keep looking and building those relationships. That is huge in this business with coaches, customers, as you're growing. That is the best thing that I have ever done personally, is build relationships with people on our team and outside of our team. Okay. And remember, success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. Discipline. You're going to hear it time and time and time and time and time again, to where I was a year ago and I'm like, yeah, but what's the secret? Somebody tell me the secret. There's a secret. It's consistency. It's the compound effect. It is doing your tracker every single day. Just going to put that there. Not thinking you can be above it. And I'm talking to myself too, because I thought for a long time I could be above it. Consistency is key. So if you guys start connecting for a week or two and you're like, oh, this isn't working, like, no, it's going to take time. Relationships take time, you guys. Okay. So get out there. Let's make some friends. We're going to be like those little kids at the park. You're going to go on social media, become a professional best friend maker, and you're going to be really happy once you start connecting with people and you're like, where have you been my whole life? Oh, so that's all I have. Okay, I saw the chat going, but I didn't look because you guys know. You know, I talk too much. That's it.
I saw Amy had a question. If you have seen that someone has posted in their stories about not wanting anything to do with MLMs, but you truly vibe with them, invite ?
That's up to you. I had somebody post, oh my gosh, what was it? It was a funny meme that was like, and we were connecting. I mean, we've been connecting forever, and I've invited her, and she said maybe, and then she posted something like, when that old high school friend slides into your DMs and is like, hey, so-and-so, want to buy da 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 da. And there was like a, oh, why face or something. And I actually commented on it. And I was like, I hate when that happens, girl. Because I do, because it still happens. And I don't want to be like that. And I said, it's funny that this is my job, but I get that feeling. She's like, and she responded to me and she said, I know, that's why if I ever sign up, I'm signing up with you, because you never make me feel that way. So it's up to you.
Love that. What questions do you guys have for Brooke? You might be nicknamed the Salty Toad now.
There's a bar here called the Salty Toad.
You are definitely the Salty Toad now.
STD, Salty Toad.
Yes. Basically, though, from what you need to take from the notes section is that you crushed it, and that was amazing. Queen.
Oh. It comes from action. And I thought about this before this call, because I'd be lying if I said I woke up every day like this and energized, took a nap. And I was actually feeling, I almost messaged Brooke and Dana a little bit before this call, because like I was laying in bed with Aubrey and like imposter syndrome hit. Like it just happens randomly. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, I am such a fake. And it's because I didn't do the things I said I was going to do today. I had a goal today to check in with all of my challengers, and I didn't, because I was focusing on this. And how to cure that, you make the time, you drink some go-go juice, you check in with your challengers. Have integrity, do what you said you were going to do, which I am not perfect at, but it always makes me feel better when I set a timer, do it. So right before this call, I was checking in with all my challengers, and that feeling, like that taking action, makes you feel better versus avoiding it more and more and more and more. And then it builds up, and then you avoid, and then you don't do it. And then you question yourself. Just do the things you say you were going to do.
So good. Gosh, I know for me, like listening to you, first off, I'm like writing, like I need to go connect with all these people now in all these groups. I'm sure you guys are feeling like that, but like just the reminder, like we just talk to people all day long. And this might make some of you feel uncomfortable, but if you are wasting a lot of your day, and I know Dana talked about it in our Diamond Push group last week, watching other people's stories, watching other coaches on our team or upper coaches, higher coaches, whatever, trainers, if you know all the back details of every single thing going on, you're missing the boat here. Like you, and it's in our book, chapter 4. I just read it like 30 minutes ago, of the Bo Eason book that we're reading. I can't come to me right now, but no plan B for your A game. He says, be a player, not a fan. If you're going to sit there and waste 20, 30 minutes of time just watching other people, you're just a fan and you're not actually playing. So just a reminder, like if you want to do this, get out there and play. Unfollow people that you're just wasting your time on right now. You know, if maybe like you can check in on them every once in a while, but if they are distracting you from your goal, from your why, take a break. And even if it's, I've also told girls on our team, even if it's girls on our team that you love, but you're finding yourself in a comparison game to them, it happens all the time. Like I have had to do it to girls on like Megan's team where we kind of signed up at the same time and they took off faster than I did. Or I'm like, well, she's rising up faster than I did. I have like unfollow, can't, like out of sight, out of mind, stay in Brooke's lane, go make friends. Right. So wherever you're at with that, I think just like here in Brooke tonight, it's like, just go talk to people. Stop watching people. Stop just scrolling on your phone and watching, and start talking. And trust me, amazing things will happen. And the integrity piece will feel so good that you built genuine relationships. Like look at everyone on this call tonight. And like, I think of Brooke, how we met, like just genuine connections and genuine relationships. So just, I love this call. It was so needed for our team. And I'll leave it. Well, I know we're coming up on about 45 minutes. So any other last questions for Brooke? Anything you want to tell her? How amazing she is, even though she's a salty toad.
I only saw the one question. Does it look weird if you're following a ton and not a lot of people following you? I just don't care what people think. I love you, Nikki. And I did though, Brooke, you put right after, you can go back and unfollow. You can do that on here too. Like the least interacted with. And I actually just unfollowed a ton of coaches that I had followed in the beginning. Not that I don't care, but it's like, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to work. My page is now my job. So.
Sweet. Well, Brooke, thank you so much for our time. You are amazing. And woo! I could just listen to y'all. And I have to say props, because I know you were a lot of like, and like, go with the flow, wing it. Like presentation, that was a long way, mama.
Oh, thank you.
Good job. Proud mama coach here tonight. So thank you so much, Brooke. And thank you guys for jumping on. I will post this tonight or tomorrow on the team page. Share with your coaches. Listen to it tomorrow if you need a kick in the butt, or next week or the week after. And let's go make some friends. So, thanks, Brooke.